This trader turned just $95k into more than $1.5 million in just a day. Someone lost $186,000. This trader is up by more than $2 million just from shares, and this trader turned just $300 into $52,000 in 1 week, and we have a lot more insane trades, so stay tuned. But we are starting off with an insane gain by Heartbleed Hack, who was born poor and now in less than a day turned just $95k into more than $1.5 million on 607 SPX 0 days till expiry options. And it looks like altogether he's up by $1,552,809.41. 383k was realized on SPX and the rest was held to settlement end of the day. More specifically, his gains came from 200 SPX calls with a striking price at $4,450 and 407 calls with a striking price at $4,475. All of them expiring on the very same day. With his account being worth almost $3 million, you might think he's just a trust fund kid. But in reality, he was born poor in the 80s and lived in a trailer. In his 30s, he did not have electricity in his place or running water and had a large 6-figure negative net worth. He made his own money, which is extremely impressive. Now this gain is even more insane when we consider the fact that he tried out SPX options for the first time ever and spent just $95k. Let me say that again. He turned just $95k into $1.5 million by trading SPX options for the first time. I'm honestly speechless. And on top of that, he has one of the most genius trading strategies I have ever seen. I think line go up today and buy calls, or think line go down and buy puts, but usually I do futures, which is why he still makes losses. Like one day before this gain, he lost 117k on 0 days till expiry spike calls. But you know, you lose some, you win some. While he's somehow able to lose just 100k and gain $1.5 million. You know, just a matter of a coin flip. Now I have to warn you to not try this at home because he definitely knows what he's doing and got extremely lucky. And I don't want you to just throw 100k into 0 days till expiry options expecting to make millions. Next we have an insane gain by Savage, who never had more than 30k at one time in his life and now he made that within 7 hours. And on top of that, he turned just $300 into $52,000 in 1 week. He made such an insane gain because he bought a lot of spike call options with different striking prices and different expiration dates. Now on the all-time chart, he's actually up by just around 11% as he started trading in 2020 and wasn't making a lot of huge moves, but he was still in profit. Then he got into options and his account just took a nosedive. And when he was left with just $300, he didn't give up and YOLO'd it all and luckily made 3 years worth of losses back in just a little over a week. And obviously he must have become a genius to make such an insane comeback. Well, no, he just cowboy traded spy puts and calls, as he was pretty much just switching between puts and calls based on what he felt. Still, he was somehow lucky enough to turn just $300 into $52,000 with a series of 10 consecutive wins. Unfortunately, not everyone is so lucky, and next we have an insane loss by Mr. Councilman. Don't trade options, they said. Well, at least he had one free gain on November the 11th, 2021, when he was up by 19% to $249,791.63, and from that point on, it just went downhill. Now he's down by 89% or $186,441.94 and is left with around 23k. Why was he so consistent with his losses? Degeneracy and the hopes of Tandis and early retirement. He also has calls expiring today, so he thinks he'll probably end up with just 3k. Besides, he doesn't have much left to move with and needs a 2000% gain to break even, so he'll probably gamble with what he has left, and I think that seals the deal for the future of his account. Fortunately, a trader by the name of Stunk Scott made an insane gain and proved patience pays off. He says Apple has always been the winner, as he's up by 702% or $2,147,465.69 on around 14,000 shares, for which he spent a total of $305,000. He has been dollar cost averaging over the years, but average cost before splits is $22 per share, so about 8 years of hodling, and he thinks he'll sell in a year and move it to something else. He believes Apple is on its way to reaching its peak unless they start making cars or something. And even though he didn't make all this money in a very short amount of time, it's still impressive, because he started this portfolio at age 24 and DC8 in blue chips, bringing his portfolio to $3.5 million. Besides Apple, he also likes Celsius, Nvidia at a way cheaper price, and Disney because it's cheap, as he thinks Celsius is probably going to get completely bought out by Pepsi or just continue to grow and overtake Monster, which is in his opinion such a clear obvious answer. Next we have an insane gain by Endo 421. Never give up, I'm back in deep. In the past week he's up by 4013% or $11,156.50, which means he turned just $300 into $12,200 in just a week. And if he held longer he could have made $30,000. He had 2 Tesla puts and turned $300 into $1,200, then he bought SPY and Tesla puts and turned it into $3,000, then he bought 6 Tesla puts with a striking price at $237.50 for $1,200 and 6 Tesla puts with a striking price at $235 for $1,000 and SPY puts with a striking price at $440 for another $1,000, basically going all in. Well, he sold those Tesla puts for around $9,000 and SPY puts for around $3,200. If he held them, they would go to $19, $15 and $4.50 respectively, which would have been about $11,400, $9,000 and $4,500. Although in perfect hindsight he even said that those 12 Tesla puts he sold for $9,000 would have been worth $32,000. But every time he gets greedy they plummet, and every time he tries to take profits they continue to rocket up from there on out. Besides, nobody went broke taking profits. Unfortunately though, he's still down by 50k all time. Next we have an insane gain by Mitikiri, who turned just $600 into 25.5k overnight, because he firstly took an L on Rivian and then decided to buy 20 Dix put options with a striking price at $130 and an expiration date on August the 25th. He bought them just before close and sold them the next day for a $25,586.19 gain. But how did he know to buy puts just before the earnings, which made the stock drop by 24%? Well, he had an epiphany. No, but seriously, because of several reasons. He visited the store a few months ago and amid the pandemic noticed fewer choices and higher prices compared to online sellers. The stock was close to an all-time high, but the revenue growth didn't seem sufficient to support the valuation. Additionally, the store had a smaller footprint. More importantly, the market was rational this time with DKS, and he didn't mind losing a few $100s. And another reason was that IV wasn't too high to not risk entering the play. Next up we have an insane gain by Wall Street, who finally did it and is in the green. Just today he's up by 30% or $8,428.84, but his returns get crazier the more we expand the time frame. In the past week he's up by almost 290% or 27k, in the past month by 629% or 31k, in the past 3 months by $47,662.57, which is more than his whole account, and I'm assuming that's because he withdrew some of the money. But just look at the consistency of his chart. Anyway, in this year he's up by a bit more, and when looking at the all-time chart we can see that he's up by 17% around 5k, and in just these past couple of months he turned his account from a complete loss to an incredible gain. It's truly amazing what can you accomplish when you don't give up. Although I would like to point out that he basically spent 6 years to make just 17%, and he's been able to achieve that with Tesla and Nvidia put options all week long, and he's still holding puts with a striking price at $220 expiring next week. And last but not least we have an insane loss by OK Professor 5181, who's asking what is he doing wrong, as he's down by 98%, $129,006.45, and is left with around 2k, and judging by the chart I'd say he lost most of it on a single position. Now he's saying he's had a few winning bets, but obviously nothing great, and the only decent win he had was when he sold AMD the day before it went bonkers back in 2021, and on top of this loss it looks like his boat was stolen, so hopefully he'll at least get that back. And if you want to see how this trader made $4,600 in just 10 seconds, click on the video that just popped up. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe, and if you have any questions or recommendations leave in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.